Hi, everyone. Welcome to 15 Minutes to Fame. I'm mikO Tolliver. I am a multimedia artist, and I'm here to share with you some of my tips and tricks to what has helped sustain me as an artist here. I live in the Bay Area. It's a very expensive place, but it's fun. It's home. I'm from here, born and raised. And I should also let you know that you see my guitar collection here for those of you guys who are watching this podcast, because you can watch it as well. Um, this is my guitar collection. These are my electric guitars. I have played guitar for over 26 years. I started as a kid. I was able to get to the point where I was playing in bands. I put out a couple albums. Go check those out online. Let me see if I can put up a link or something, at least a little image, so you can see what the album covers look like. They're called Hard as Money and Attack of Kitty Perm. I was able to produce those albums independently. I funded them by giving guitar lessons. I started an after school music program. It's called Rockstar Guitar Academy. You should also go and check that out, the website, where you can get an ebook too if you sign up my mailing list, because I wrote a booklet called Guitar Basics. So I'm hardcore in the guitar. Um, and I started that all out. If I'm just piggybacking off of the last episode I did for this podcast, which is about planning, coming up with an idea, dream that you have, or something like that, and putting out a plan. With these guitars here, it's important to look at these. When I first started playing guitar, I was like, okay, I really want to get serious about it. You see this one here? I had a friend that I used to play with. This was actually his guitar. His name was Brian, a really great guy. He used to come to school, to my school where I went to college, and he would come and play on campus with me, and he would bring this guitar. He was actually homeless. So it got to the point where he was just like, can you keep my guitar for me and you can play it? And it was great because I didn't really have money for a quality guitar. So I got to play this. So this guy is special here. This guitar's name is Brian. For those of you who guys can't see, this is an Ibanez here. This is like a semi-hollow body. It's a nice guitar. But I started that. I found that guy because what I did is I put out a flyer. This is back before social media was kind of big. Maybe I'm aging myself, but I just drew a little flyer with some pictures. I went and cut some strips at the bottom with my phone number, and I posted it all around the city. This was in Oakland, and people would call me and be like, hey, come to our house. We're looking for someone to play guitar. I actually have a few stories about some folks who wanted to play. It was kind of crazy. But that was how I was able to start playing with other people. Then I would also go post lists and like Craigslist and other classified ads, or online, find like some posting, some group online, be like, hey, I'm looking for people to play guitar with. So you put a plan together and you go out and share it into the world. And that was the same way I put my after school program together, my music teaching business. I actually came home one day and I was like, all right, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a flyer together. I'm going to post it all around. And I got home and I painted like what my guitar looked like, kind of. And same thing, I made flyers. I posted around. If you look at my booklet, Guitar Basics, you will see that the cover of it is actually that. It's that same flyer. That was why I used that as the cover. I was like, this is what I do. But I really want to talk about the planning. Yes, you need a plan. Put something together. Go and share it into the world. Now, that is where I would say I want people to be thinking of two things. One is, and it's all based on how people are responding to you. And there's this motivational speaker I like. He's actually a preacher. His name is Joel Osteen. I've been listening to him a long time ago. He said something like, if you're trying to do something, you know it's possible, and you share it with people, and they're just like, no, you can't do it. It's not going to work out. Get away from those people, because I knew this was possible. I don't really come from a musical family or anyone who's networked or super connected. So in order for me to make this successful, make it work, I was really going to have to get out there and meet people. That was really important to me. So I stuck with that rule. Like, all right, if people are going to tell me it's not possible, then I'm going to stay away from those people. Because I was so in love with this. I felt like I was married to the guitar, right? The next thing, though, I want to point out is that if you go out and share into the world and you got a plan, I want you to be open to hearing other things that could work out in the plan. And I mostly say that is because I worked with a lot of artists, a lot of small business people, a lot of entrepreneurs. They have this idea, they have a plan, and they're so married to how it looks, how it is. I've probably even suffered from this at some point. They're so married to it that they aren't open to additional things that can happen in the plan, new possibilities, you know? Um, I've sometimes I see people who are like, okay, I have this plan. I want to do this. I'm sharing it with people. And now someone says, oh, that's a really great idea. Here's how you could make a little bit more money. Or here's how you could expand it. Or, I'm not quite sure that will work out. What if you try this thing? You know, some people aren't going to like that. Or how are you going to find money for that? You got to change things a little bit. That's fine. You should be really weary of is when you say you have a plan and someone just tells you it's not possible. That's the advice you don't want. That's when you want to steer clear. But if people are coming to you and saying, okay, you got a good idea, I think you just need to make these a few adjustments. I do think I definitely want to encourage you to be open to that and listening to that, because I've seen people really limit themselves by controlling exactly how it's going to be. I would say take whatever goal you have, dream and basic idea, basic plan, but really be open to how it could grow, especially if you're trying to, or if you have to collaborate with other people. You know, that's really important. When I recorded those albums, the first album I recorded completely by myself. I wrote all the songs, wrote all the music, recorded all the instruments and stuff, even the ones I kind of didn't really know how to play. I was like, I could print it up a little bit. I'm not super great at bass, but I play guitar, and the bottom four strings, that's a bass, right? That works, yeah. So I tried that, and I felt like it worked pretty well. The second album, I was able actually to bring on some other musicians. Now, I remember I had kind of the basic idea of like, all right, here's kind of the track, here's the song idea that I want. And it was cool. Some of the musicians I was working with, I would go, okay, can you play this guitar part? Can you play this piano part, or these things? Because you can't do everything, especially if your idea, your dream, your plan grows in any way. You're not going to be able to do everything. You are going to have to learn to delegate. You are actually going to have to learn to pick those people and then just let it go and see what they bring you back. When I was recording that second album, I was working with some other musicians, and I would say, here's kind of the general idea. And sometimes they would play things that I'm like, I'm not really sure if I like that. But a lot of times they would play stuff where I was like, that sounds really cool. And that's outside of my ability to play myself. Open yourself up to something new. Open your plan up, especially if you have to collaborate, if there's got to be other people involved, because you can't do it all yourself. You got to be realistic. And I think for me, from my experience of what I've seen, that has really allowed me to grow is the ability to network, to collaborate, but also delegating. I feel like once I really learned how to delegate my task, that was really about knowing, one, how to pick the right people, but knowing exactly what's really important. Is it important for me to control every single step of the plan, or is it more important for me to get the outcome, get that goal achieved? Because I could do every single thing myself, sure, but then I don't have time. It might not come out as well. There's so much. It might take too long. I get stretched too thin, But if I could find someone and I could see, that's not necessarily how I would do it, but got the job done, that's really what you want to focus on. Opening yourself up to a plan, opening yourself up to what others could do for you and how it could help you and how it can help you grow. You got to go there. You got to plan. You're trying to do something. How can you open yourself up? And I really want to encourage you. I want to say, for me, from what I've seen in my experience, that to me has shown me the difference between someone who has a good idea and someone who's really mastered what it's going to take to make their dreams come true. You got to learn how to work with people. And actually, when I was younger, I wasn't super great with working with people. I think that probably stalled me a little bit. It wasn't that I didn't get along well, but it was because I was so like, it has to be exactly like this. And I think when you get so rigid, it stifles creativity. It stifles your ability to advance because you can't network with people, and it could probably just make you really annoying and difficult to work with, because there's got to be something in it for someone else too. Yeah. If I want to get someone to come along and help me, what's in it for them? Don't just have your hand out. Even if you do have this amazing dream, this amazing goal, this amazing plan, what's in it for someone else? Sometimes people want to be a part of your team just because they see that, okay, I see the potential, I see the goal, I see the dream, I see everything that they're doing, and I want to be a part of that. But people don't want to just come and be your errand boy, especially if you're not paying them. Do you have a lot of money at first? You might not. So uh, be open to just all the possibilities that are out there, the other suggestions that people have. That's going to be a big takeaway. And that's actually something I wish I would have learned sooner, but I learned it when I did. And that's one of the main things I feel like I run into problems with people working with other entrepreneurs or other artists. And I'm like, nah, they're just too controlling. You gotta let go a little bit. Um, yeah, that's going to be my advice this time around. Again, thank you for tuning in and supporting me here on this podcast journey that I have developing here. Checking out my guitar collection here. That's my Rickenbacker. That's like I love that guitar, but this is my Telecaster. It's probably the best one. Want to encourage you guys all, please subscribe, please continue to follow, please continue to support as I grow this. I believe it's going to be something great. Please check out my website, www.mikotolliver.com, where you can find out more about me. And again, if you sign up for the mailing list, I will give you a free ebook of my Guitar Basics booklet so that you can see how I got this all going. Anything that I'm telling you is based on 100% experience that I've done. I'm not lying to you in any way. I'm not just making it up. These are all things that I've done. So again, subscribe, follow, continue to support, join my Patreon. And again, thank you so much. 15 minutes to fame for this time around. Be open to your plans changing.